Hola. You're like so happy, subscribe to me for content like this. Hi everybody. I can't be too loud because it's like 6 a.m. Tentacles. Oh, first of all, hi, how are you? There's this one bug that's been like around. Why are you not working? There was this book going around and it intrigued me. I never planned on reading it because it's not my vibe. It's this book and I'm here to talk to you about it because this is... I've been reading a lot of smut recently. Not me trying to explain it. I've been reading a lot of smut recently and this... I didn't think that it would come down to this. I didn't. My beginning days in smut started with a little bit of chugging, a little bit of spitting, and now it's full on tentacle porn. So that's cool. But I actually did read the book and I have some thoughts. I do have a lot of thoughts. First of all, why in God's holy name was this entertaining? Someone explain to me why this was very entertaining. I don't want to admit this out loud, but since I'm making a video, I guess I have to because like you're making me. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure it out. I think I was like too bamboozled by the cover and also the title and also actually realize the author's name, and I've actually read works by them before. I've read Neon Gods. If you have a book like this and you start reading a book like this, you don't really notice the author's name. You're just like, what in the tentacle porn am I gonna read? So that's what happened to me. Other than the BS, and there's a lot of BS, the writing was actually entertaining. A bit confusing at first. So it started off with Catalina. It's from her POV and it started off like her in a place and it's a short book. It's like a novella and it like immediately starts with her having a deal with a demon and you don't know what the heck is happening. I was so confused at first. I was still entertained and intrigued, but more confused than intrigued. I'm not used to monster stuff. So I think I was a little bit out of my space. Before we start, I'd like you all to know of this page, the warnings and the tropes, and this, specifically this. I read this and I read it again and I took a screenshot and I sent it to my friend and we read it together and then we read it together again and we were intrigued. Yeah, we were intrigued. But that's like the least attractive thing that I've read in a while. And it put me off so much, like it completely put me off of the book, and I knew like whatever, as hot as they could make them, whatever male character we're gonna meet, I knew that I'm gonna be apprehensive about them. The pacing was a little bit off. We had like a spicy scene in the weirdest time, like they were enemies and they were still in the, I don't know, the grumpy sunshine, and then he's doing things to her and it like bewildered me. And I know this is a short book, but still like the pacing was a little bit off. The MC, she's a little bit annoying. She's like too self-deprecating and I don't get it. I'm a self-deprecating queen. There's no one that puts a person down more than I put myself down. I'm not though right now. Right now I feel like God, not gonna lie, but my BPD is really showing. But I get it. It's normal to be self-deprecating and blah blah, but it's like in a way that is so freaking annoying. Like you cannot tell her anything without her saying, why no one likes me, my own mother doesn't like me, everyone like assaults me and goes away from my life forever and abandon me. And then you can like every time something small happens, I feel like if she'd be walking and like she would knock her like elbow on a doorknob or something and she's like, even the doorknob doesn't like me, like my mother, she just like hates me and everyone hates me, and that gets a little bit annoying after a while. Like bitch, I do gotta say though, her and I, we kind of have the same sense of humor, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I do like it. It's very dry and it's very not funny and it's very dark, and if you have never been assaulted a day in your life and you had a great childhood, then you're not gonna get it. But the girls who get it, they get it. And it's like the type of sense of humor where you go so much, like through so much drama, where you start thinking things are funny in a way to cope, so you won't actually realize how difficult they are and how horrendous and horrible they are. So you just make them into a joke, you make everything into a joke, and then you think that's normal because you've said it so many times, you've done it so many times, and then you say it to a stable, normal person, and they're just like, baby, what the fuck? Why are we laughing at this? Like, why is this a joke? That's not funny. And you think it's funny because you've normalized it. She has that sense of humor, and I love that. I liked her after a while. When she's not so self-deprecating, I liked her. She's funny, she's witty, she's smart, she's very sardonic, and she's very cynical and like super pessimistic. And I like that. It's funny, it's done in a funny way. But when she's alone or with different peeps, but with the main male character, with the other MC, his name is Stain, and he is a Kraken. He's half squid and half man. He has tentacles, hence the makeup. Thank you very much. I've put so much work in it. I have not. It took me like 5 minutes. When she's with him, the pacing is just off. For some reason, like everyone else that she talks to, they have some sort of charisma, like some sort of charm with them, and I think she's funnier with other people, but when she's with him, it's like something is off, and I just don't ship them. I don't know. When we go to his POV, he's like so serious and blah blah blah, and I like his POV alone and I like her POV alone, but together it just doesn't work for me. And I was all for her, and I started like encouraging her and liking her and stuff until she said this: appease. And I know she was saying it in a sardonic joke, like a cynical joke, but that was such a cringy moment. That was such a cringy moment. It was like in a moment where he was going to pick her up, and she like lifts her hands and she goes, appease, appease. Like, oh my god, my god. I know what the author was going for, but that ain't it, chief. Like, it did not work. It didn't hit the mark that the author wanted it to hit. Through all of this, somehow making a deal with a demon, going to the underworld, living with the Kraken, being sacrificed in an auction to a fucking Kraken, to Squid, and having cunnilingus with Squidward, she somehow still remained relatable in a way. Catalina, she still remained relatable. And even like in the moment where I start like feeling myself hating her and she gets into the cringy mode, she then says or does something that is relatable, and I like her. However, she's so dramatic to the point where it's actually like, it's not in a cute way. She's so freaking dramatic. Like I said, the self-deprecation knows no fucking bounds. He can just like walk in a room and then out of a room. A person, like a stranger that doesn't even see her. Literally, like she was doing such a shitty job at like the kitchen, right? And the chef just like yelled at her and told her like stop fucking doing that. And she's so dramatic. You go to her inner monologue and she's just like, of course he would yell at me. Everyone yells at me. Like my mother, he would probably leave me if we were together. Like everyone else leaves me because I'm right. He would tell her like, you're pretty, and she's like, how dare you tell me I'm pretty? I'm like, awful. Oh my god, do not dare tell me I'm fucking pretty. So fucking dramatic. She's so dramatic, and it's not done in a way where you're like, you get it, you relate to it, in a way that you get the insecurity, you get that. It's just done in a very dramatic way. This was a fine bit of entertainment until chapter 15, where we got to the smutty part. I gotta say, a new kink unlocked. I gotta be honest with you. Girl got fantasies. I don't know how this book came about, how it happened. It was entertaining still. I wasn't disappointed. It was so easy to read. And the few negatives weren't that serious. And it just like, this is a spontaneous moment for me. I literally like saw every hoe in my book club talking about it and how intense it was and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I'm gonna read it since I have it from somewhere. I'm just gonna read it, and I did, and it was a fine bit of entertainment. It was like a 2.5 or a 3. It was like, you know, short. I don't know what happened with my mouth. It was short, it was entertaining, it was weird as shit. It was weird as shit, but yeah. It's hella predictable though. Like, it's not this huge adventure. A girl makes a deal with the devil, with the demon, not the devil, and she gets auctioned in their world to Squidward. Handsome Squidward though. I do gotta say, it gives off like a woke, I'm not like the other bitches book, not character, but book. The character also gives off, I'm not like the other bitches, but the book itself, it's like too woke to where it's annoying. Like, you know, when you read the contemporary book and they start talking about TikTok and whatever, and you're just like, I don't want this. I'm like reading you to escape, so like, please don't do this. It's like that. And I was so confused for a little bit, and it had to have like a bajillion different pronouns and a bajillion different thing and blah blah blah. And I'm all for it in real life. I'm not only an ally, I'm a part of it. But like, in a book, it's like desperate. It gives off, I'm trying hard to be inclusive, and it's like desperate, or that's personally the vibe that I got from it. Other than that, this was a surprisingly entertaining bit of, I don't want to call it literature, an entertaining bit of book. I have no idea what this video is. I have no idea what this video is. This is such a smart, intellectual review of a very intellectual, smart book. That's it though. If you think about reading this book, this is a review for the book. Thanks for watching. If you watched this very random video, I'm gonna see you next video.